knee-jerk reaction when you saw the Rich Paul video yesterday for the first time, how did you react?
The NBA was not thrilled that it was released.
That was your first reaction?
Yes.
Was it?
We do not like our agents showing that they have that type of way to affect our league, where they can get an owner on the phone, general manager, whatever. They can get someone on the phone from another team that is running the draft room, in charge of the draft room, whatever, to insinuate we can get your guy to 10. We're going to work on getting our guy to 10. Do you like him at 10? All that kind of stuff. And what you can play what we are referencing right now, I believe, right?
I can play right here. This is a video that was out on social media yesterday. Rich Paul is on the phone with Suns owner Matt Ishbia. This is on the Homecoming Network. And he's speaking to Matt Ishbia about getting his client, Maluach, to number 10 so the Suns can get him.
If you guys keep 10, I'm going to mention the name and you tell me how much you like him. Khaman Maluach, if I can get him there.
A lot. That'd be my first choice.
Okay, done deal. That's all I need to hear.
Can you get there?
I'm going to try my best because you're our first choice. If he gets past Brooklyn, then yeah. But let me make those calls so I can let you do what you need to do.
All right, yeah, call me back when you hear.
I will. Okay.
All right,
thank you.
Now, to your point, obviously, Rich Paul wants something like this out there
to show that he can do that.
Shows his power, right? It's kind of a not so humble brag of this is why you should hire me to be your agent. Watch what I can do. I'm going to get you where you want to go. I'm going to pull the strings and things like that. And apparently, the way the story goes, he basically talked Brooklyn out of taking him, right? He basically said, my guy doesn't want to go there. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. I'm presuming the conversation went something like that.
This is what Suns fans have been hoping to hear about for years with Tyrese Halliburton, but he told me that was not the case. But yes, this is a situation where oftentimes agents can get in a position like that where they can sort of finagle things and get their guy where they want to go. Now, I don't know if you want to start here, but the immediate thought for me was, did Clutch know at the time that the Suns were about to trade for Mark Williams? Because they looked at Phoenix and they're like, okay, organization that we would like our guy to develop in, long-term need, short-term need at center. He'll get to play with Devin Booker. He'll get to play with Jalen Green, all these other guys, whatever, fine. Did they want him to get there at the time, knowing that Mark Williams was going to be blocking him short and long-term? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so.
So are you? I think I get what you're suggesting here. You're suggesting that had they known about the Mark Williams trade, maybe they wouldn't be in such a hot rush to get Maluach to the Suns in the first place.
Let's say if the Mark Williams trade would have been made the day before, would Khaman Maluach be a member of the Phoenix Suns right now?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of it that way because it does. I know, again, having been on vacation last week, I know that the 10th pick and the Mark Williams trade happened almost like rapid fire, right? It was like bang, bang, and within 30 seconds, it felt like the two things happened.
It was reported somewhere around like pick 8, I want to say, is when the trade was agreed upon. So the Suns took Maluach knowing they were trading for Mark Williams. And you can debate whether that was the right reason to do so or that was the correct thing to do or not. But I do wonder how much of Rich Paul's and his clients' affirmations for the Suns would have been felt the same way if Mark Williams was on the team. And is this like more? But the thing we're dancing around here and we haven't talked about yet, he was not talking to Brian Gregory on the phone.
And that's, I mean, I think that's the main takeaway from this. And I don't think we're dancing around it. I think we just kind of went off on a detour.
We found other things more interesting than the obvious thing.
As interesting. I mean, let's put it that way. It was certainly something I had failed to consider that it was also equally. And certainly Rich Paul's power was interesting, but not altogether surprising. The order and the kind of the what-if scenario of it is a good point that you bring up. The idea that Matt Ishbia was the other name on the phone or was the other voice on the phone, that like there's a part of me that hears that and goes, oh boy, here we go. It's the Jerry Jones syndrome, everything we've come to fear about what this could be ever since you reported that internal memo of, how it was going to be different and how there was going to be a new leadership model and he was going to take charge. All of it felt Jerry Jones-esque. Having him be on the phone with Rich Paul felt very Jerry Jones-esque. But at the same time, and I swear I'm not saying this to try to defend it or defend him, I do wonder in how many other NBA situations, who would Rich Paul be on the phone with? You know what I mean? Like I don't know the answer to this question. In Golden State, is it Kerr? Is it Lacob? Is it their GM? In Miami, I'm assuming it's Pat Riley, probably, and not Mickey Air. You know what I mean? I would love an organizational flow chart to show me that when Rich Paul wants to make a deal with a team, this is the person who he calls. And I want to know how many of those people are general managers, how many people are owners, and how many of those people are coaches. And then I'll kind of react with the proper amount of anger and indignance if Matt Ishbia is the only owner on that list.
And some agents are going to only be able to get on the phone with the assistant GM or the vice president of player programming, whatever Brian Gregory's title was last year. Rich Paul is going to get on the phone with the head decision maker. I think that's like, for me to like react to it properly, the guy that Rich Paul is going to be on the phone with is the guy that he needs to be on the phone with, the guy that is making the final call.
Yeah.
That's who he is going to be on the phone with. So he was on the phone. It would have shocked me if he was on the phone with Brian Gregory. It would have shocked me.
Yeah,
but
me
him
too.
being on the phone with Ishbia, I'm like, yep, that makes sense. That's the guy that's going to make it happen.
Me too. And it does. Look, we all know he's more involved than your garden variety owner. Like that's not breaking news here. I guess the question to me is, and we'll probably never know the answer to this, at least maybe I'll never know the answer to this, is like, at what point do the decisions become small enough that it's not in Matt Ishbia's umbrella? You know what I mean? Like, clearly this one is. This one is a Matt Ishbia production. This is what we're going to do. This is what at what point do we move down the depth chart before we reach a decision that is, for lack of a better word, below Matt Ishbia's pay grade? Are none of them? All of them? Some of them? And I don't know the answer to this, but I got to assume at some point there is a decision where he goes, yeah, I don't really need to make that decision. That can be up to you, Brian, or that can be up to somebody else. I'm not that, and I don't know where that line is, but it's clearly not this one.
No, and I think that this is what we knew we were getting into in these next couple of years. And what I mean by that is this is officially a Matt Ishbia production now. And again, we can argue semantics. Was it the last 2 or 3 years? Whatever. Like, it doesn't really matter. But the point is that letter, that memo getting out, from here on out, his name is all over everything that's happening. So I expect for his name to be there.
Yeah. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, we've watched Jerry Jones flounder about with the Dallas Cowboys for the last 30 years. And I tell you, Kellan, there's nothing more that scares me about this arrangement with this basketball team than that right there. Just, is it going to be too much? Is it going to be a little sandbox for him to play around in, and it's not going to be real serious? It's scary. I just don't like an owner being that involved.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.